Sorry. Forgive me. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for so patiently waiting for your girl. Thank you. Now, let me get my Nancy up here. Nancy, where are you? We got to get some more like different kinds of footages of Nancy. Good morning. I'm watching the Nancy video now and I got to stop myself. I can only bear watching if I watch her with y'all. Thank you, 91. Shout out to 91 Darby. Darby was like, listen, I haven't watched it yet. I heard about it. I heard I clicked in the middle. I said, let me just see what they say here. And then boom, I heard, what did I hear? Gift cards. And I said, oh shit, I gotta stop it right here and I'm gonna watch it with my people. Hi, everybody. Hey, happy New Year still. Sorry, my freaking mic stand is a little weird. Welcome. Everybody's here. I know I'm late. I'm really, really late. Been working on some stuff. I can't wait to tell you guys what I've been working on. That's why it's been taking my attention, but it's gonna be good for us, for me, exactly. So I can't wait to talk a little bit more about that, but I can't right now. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Well, look at YouTube notifications trying to work just when I was about to leave this toxic relationship. What? Said I feel the same way with your input on the show. I kind of have to deal with it. Listen, it's a love and, like a give or take, love and hate type situation. You can only stand Nancy for so long. And for me, it's like, I'm here for it. I think it's hilarious sometimes. Now I should do my makeup like Nancy and really like wig it out. But I think it would take me a long time to even like get a wig going and stuff like that every time she does a reaction. But I think I could pull it. Like even the facial, I think I could do it. Mm-hmm. I could be a twin for sure. And we do have a Nancy emoji. I don't know if you guys realize that, but we do. Nancy is like, she drives me crazy and, I'll say it, but I heard through somebody who actually works with her that she's really funny. That this character that she puts up, she's that, like, that's a character, right? But that she's actually a really, really funny woman. And, she's all into it. It's kind of, I'm like, really? Anyways, I don't know. I never really took her as like a funny. I always took her as like a very serious and stern person. But Nancy Grace is very funny. I said, okay, cool. All right. Well, welcome, everybody. Welcome. You're too cool to be Nancy. Really? I know. Well, some people don't like it that I have this. They said, Rabbit, I love Nancy. And I just feel like it's so disrespectful when you're putting our girl Nancy out like that. And I'm just like, why? Why is it disrespectful? Now, let me fix something because I kind of want to make myself a little bit bigger. I don't think I need a 2-person. Hold up, let's cancel that. Discard changes. One panel person. Okay, now I want to fix something here. This is bothering me. And while I'm here, because we're going to set up here for our Nancy Grace, we're going to move this window right here while I'm live. Or maybe I can move it here. No, I like it here. We'll do this right here. Just make sure it's within the bounds. Okay, we're going to save that. Update layout. Okay, and then we're going to pull out the Nancy Grace new video because that'll help me kind of share. Let's see. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Now, hold up. That link removed. I don't know why, but let's we're gonna get into this right now. Where are you, Nancy Grace? Nancy Grace. Here she is. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here's our girl. Oh, here it is. All righty. Now I don't want to be here. I want to be here. Oh, it didn't even save. Why not? Oh, this is gonna make me mad. Give me 1 sec. Okay, that's okay. So we're gonna start right here. I just wish it would have saved my little formatting. I heard that there was like new information in this video. Explosive information. What I heard was gift cards. And then I was like, okay, I can't watch this without my people. So I might have to wait and watch this with everybody. I can't watch it with, just myself. So she said apparently gift cards. Nope, that's not what I want. See, I'm trying to fix it and I can't. Apparently there's some gift cards and whatnot. And let's see, can we fix it now? Let's try this one more time because this really bothers me. Here we go. Can we save it? Save as a new. Here we go. It didn't even get through. Okay. That's so... All right, I'm going to have to figure this out later. Maybe it's because I'm live and it won't do it. All right. That's all good. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Welcome, welcome. We'll figure this out later. You said the thumbnail is golden. Of course it is. Welcome. All right. I think everybody's here for the most part. We're a little bit 5 minutes behind. Well, I was late. Tina McBride, member for 21 months. Thank you. And Daphne, member for 6 months. Tina, shout out to Tina, man. She's getting to the OG status membership. Thank you so much, my love, for supporting the channel. And 6 months for Daphne. All right, let's get into this, okay? She says she finally realizes she needs to appreciate Steve. What? She paid penance in their offer. Really? How so? Did she like switch up her character? Now listen, like I said, y'all don't have to like Steve. I mean, you don't. You really don't. Y'all can have whatever opinion that you want. I know you guys are like, Rabbit, like, I do like Steve. I think Steve is cool. He's a cool guy. He's always been friendly to me. I like Steve, but some of you guys don't. I can respect that. So let's get into this. And I think Steve is open to criticism, because I think he's doing all this publicly, y'all. Like, people you're going to get criticized, right? Like, anything that you say, and sure as hell has been criticized. I think it's okay to say that. All right, let's get into this, okay? You named your cat Steve. Well, now that's interesting. Okay, let's go.
Homicide indictment. They had to find something from the body or a witness.
There were some full respirators, almost like gas masks.
A home incinerator. I mean...
Wait. Let me write this down. Gas mask? I got my little legal pad over here, okay? I got my little... He said, this is a new. He said gas mask? Now, see, I got my note. Yeah, he said that, right? All right. Well, yeah, I heard that too. I was like, what? That was gas mask. Let me write this down. Was there like a new respirators or gas mask? Or are they the same thing? Yes, it's a legal pad, meaning everything that I write is very legal on my legal pad. Keep going, all right?
Who has a home incinerator? Have you seen those things?
I think we're going to see more than one person charged in this case.
I believe that her death could go back as far as January.
Breaking news tonight.
Now, those are receipts that I feel like have been somewhat, have been showed, at least from the last picture, unless we don't have communication or access to her phone, but we really, really do not know. Now, let me just say this. I really, really do think that I can do the Nancy Grace makeup because the lady does not blend. Do y'all see that eyebrow, that eyeshadow? That's not blending. I think I could do that. Maybe the next time I do a Nancy Grace reaction, we're going to wear some Nancy Grace makeup. And I'm going to think about ordering an Amazon Nancy Grace wig.
D4VD, a.k.a. David Allen Burke, whines he has money woes. Boo-hoo! This is a grand jury homicide indictment looms.
Wait, what?
Timing. A home incinerator found still in the box at D4VD's home. Was it purchased at the time of Celeste's death? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. David is finally being considered.
Thoughts so far? He says, I've got a remarkable wish everyone. He said nothing. Well, I think I could do it. The eyeshadow's popping. You see the sound effects. I mean, I'm telling you, man, the lady's a character. She has earned her keep. Okay, let's go.
As a suspect in the death, teen girl Celeste found decomposing in his vehicle.
Was she dismembered? Was she frozen? Was she decapitated?
What was going on in that household up to this homicide?
Well, Nancy Grace may be saying old stuff, but Steve Fisher is not. I think that, so Steve Fisher is brought in, and they said about the gas mask respirators, and they talked about gift cards, okay?
Home incinerator.
Fast forward here.
Yeah, the fact that there is a burn cage that's even being alluded to here, Nancy, is quite fascinating. And here's why. A burn cage can burn up to 1,600 degrees Fahrenheit. Nancy, that's in the same neighborhood as an actual crematory, all right? With a crematory, which works on natural gas, it has to be sustained for about 2 to 3 hours. It can render down an entire human remain, all right? If that's the goal here with this thing, there are actually cases out there where burn cages have in fact been used to render down human remains. I'm not saying that that's what's involved here, but the fact that there is one in close proximity to where she was found is certainly, from an investigative standpoint, very compelling.
Joining us now, the man who actually first sees the home incinerator in the mansion of David Burke, D4VD. Joining me right now is a now renowned private investigator, Steve Fisher.
Wait. He wasn't renowned before? He says, and now renowned. I mean, like I said, Steve Fisher has been around for quite some time. Come on, Nancy. I don't know. You said she's like a telenovela newscaster, and I love her. Do you? I mean, like I said, I have some thoughts about Nancy Grace. There were some cases that I didn't like the way in which there was some shade, right? There was. It's like shade, but no shade. Like shade, but no shade. But there's shade. Now renowned. I said, really? As if it wasn't before? Okay. There was a case that I followed. This was before like YouTube, of a mom. This is when she had her channel. If y'all remember that, there was a mom who committed an S, and she was being accused, and she was questioned by Nancy Grace, kind of like in a cross-examination type of style. I thought it was giving shady too. See, Vicky's like, we can call it. We could see it. I didn't really care for the way she handled that, and I think she was sued afterwards because she handled that in the way in which she was accusatory in the questioning. So basically playing lawyer on TV, which has been some of the things that people have liked about Nancy. Like, let's be 1,000%. But there was some people that she interviewed whose mental health was not all the way 1,000, and they decided to end their life after that interview. If you guys remember, where's my where may we misspoke and meant with us, Rover? You said, I was just like, well, he says now. I'm like, I thought he was always, but okay. She just said it. I'm not the one putting words in the lady's mouth. Okay.
Steve, I know that you were hired by the owner of the D4VD mansion to find out what the hay was going on inside the mansion after Celeste's body is found. Where did you see a home incinerator?
The home incinerator was actually inside the house. It wasn't even in the garage. And it was still packaged, but it's a 55-pound, device, and which serves no purpose at that house. And so it immediately raised, huge alarm bells with us. And it, especially considering found in the Tesla, and you got to wonder what the plans were.
55 pound. I mean, it's not easy to just carry, right? Just based on the weight.
Maybe get rid of her permanently.
I got a question for you, Steve Fisher. You state that the home incinerator was still packaged. Did you take photos of it?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you know what kind of incinerator it is, the name brand?
Yeah, it's made by a company called Dr. Burn. And, their whole advertisement is that it burns at 1,600 degrees. And, human cremations are done at 1,400 degrees. So this is meant to, reduce things, including animal carcasses and whatnot. And this is something you would typically find on a farm.
Well, I've got a question for you. Why are you saying it's used for animal carcasses? I'm not saying that it's not, but
But that's what people said in the chat when we were first talking about it. I'm like, well, why would you have something like this? And I had some people in my chat who said, well, I'm a farmer, or I'm deal with this, and you can burn like small animals as well as like other small things, right? Let me tell you, when I lived in Cali, it's been a couple of years, right? But I'm from California, and there was this one area where we lived. Like at one point, we were out in the city, right? And then we moved into kind of more of the what they would call the countryside of it. Like if you guys remember, if you guys know where Chowchilla's at, put a one in the chat if you know where Chowchilla's at. A Chowchilla, Fairmead, Atwater, those areas right there. There's some areas up in California where it's like a lot of farm winery type of areas. You guys know where the Chowchilla Women's Prison is at? Yeah, we used to live close to that area. And one of the things, this was when I was a kid though, one of the things that they would used to do is that they would used to, the farmers there, they would burn, like they would have like burning days, and it would just be like old, stuff that they would burn, and they would leave the ashes there sitting there and whatnot. And so that's kind of like, I don't ever remember them using an incinerator, but that is a thing. Like people tend to burn things out. Now, here is a home in the Hollywood Hills. You wouldn't see something like that, right? At all. At all.
Did you see anything on the package to inform you of that?
So as soon as we found it on the outside, it clearly says Dr. Byrne, and we went right to their website, and they're advertising, and other people's using it on YouTube. It shows that's what it's for. Now, it's not just for animal carcasses. It can incinerate literally anything, but this is something that's not even legal in the Hollywood Hills because of the fire ordinances and whatnot. And then we also found it with a chainsaw, and so there's just a lot of questions, and it's a horrible look.
So let me understand, Steve Fisher.
Unless it was for a music video, I mean, that could have very well been the case. I still stand on if we're in the grand jury side of things, right? Like already when they started mid-November, guys, if they felt like the incinerator or chainsaw or any of these items were of purpose, right, or were of evidentiary value, they would have brought that in. That's my thought. But that, I'm not an expert. I don't know as far as that area goes. You said you grew up in Ranch in Oklahoma, and my dad and my uncle we used to do controlled burning too. Yeah, it was like controlled burning. That's what it's called. It helps with the forest each year. Yep. Control burning was a thing for sure. And that's kind of like what they would call it in Cali. But these are areas that you're not talking about Los Angeles. You're not talking about the Hollywood Hills. I mean, you're literally talking about more of the countryside, county roads, kind of like that, those kind of like farmer areas, where you would put a women's prison at. You said, I hope somebody Googled, will a burn cage melt a knife? I don't know if you can melt something like that. I don't know what degrees. I mean, that's a lot of science that I don't know for this, honestly. Hells, thank you so much for being a member for 2 months. Love watching you, sweetie. Well, thank you. And I love that you love me, and I love you for that. Thank you, my love. Thank you. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. It does support the channel. Okay, let's go.
Hired by the owner of Burke's mansion where he was renting it. You find a home incinerator. What I find very critical, 2 things. If you go to as you're calling it, Dr. Byrne, it's original burn cage. There are YouTube videos about burning animal carcasses. So if I looked up home incinerator to burn carcass, that would pop up. Curious. So right there, and I'll circle back to you, Brian Fitzgibbons, there needs to be a full-on digital search as to whether that query was ever typed into anybody's phone, laptop, iPad, you name it. But, okay, so I know that pops up. But what I find very critical, Steve, is the date of the purchase. For instance, let me just throw this at you. You remember Brian Koberger, of course, who goes on Amazon and buys a dagger, a K-bar knife that was used to murder 4 innocent University of Idaho students, and his Amazon search was uncovered, and the purchase, and where he looked to buy a replacement.
Wait, what? Whoa. That is a lot of information. Hold up. You said love. At Robbie, do we need to leave the chat for a moment? No, you don't. Shout out to y'all. It's New Year's. I am just so grateful for you guys. That's all. And yeah, so I love, shout out to all my wonderful members. I just had to take a moment and just thank you guys. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I just had a moment there. If the knife is stainless steel, it wouldn't get hot enough. Needs to get into the lease. What did she just say though? Because I'm so I was like, huh? Hold up. She's talking about Kohberger, right? Why is she making the comparison to Kohberger to D4VD? I feel like these are two different things. Sarah, thank you so much for the $10. Oh, balloons. Sorry. How they think they could incinerate a body without the odor of death? That's what I'm saying. You can incinerate the smell. I mean, it's gonna smell, right? Yeah, she's talking about another case. That's why I was like, it threw me off. And thank you, Sarah, my love, for the $10. Honestly, it threw me off because it's like I don't make that comparison. I know Kohberger is like in the minds of a lot of people because I mean, kind of learning a little bit of what Kohberger didn't do, or at least what he's being accused of. And there's some people, that believe in I don't know if they're wrong, honestly, that Kohberger might have been framed too. I mean, there's that too. But I just don't know why Kohberger is a comparison. But okay.
For instance, let me just throw this at you. You remember Brian Kohberger, of course,
Okay, let me go back.
Goes on Amazon and buys a dagger, a K-bar knife that was used to murder 4 innocent University of Idaho students. And his Amazon search was uncovered, and the purchase, and where he looked to buy a replacement after the murders. We know, for instance, cult mom Lori Vallow goes onto Amazon and buys a wedding dress, a groom's outfit, and a ring before her new husband's wife is killed. Amazon is a beautiful thing. So I'm curious, Steve Fisher, when the burn cage was purchased. We've heard about the burn cage. What we haven't heard about is, what does it prove? Is it probative? It was still in the package. It wasn't used to destroy her body, but
it proves absolutely nothing. I don't think it proves anything. Am I wrong for saying that? Let me know in the chat. Does the purchase of an incinerator actually, man, I'm sorry, Nancy, I paused it at a wrong time. Does it prove anything? I don't think so. What does it prove? It's never been used. Maybe, and I asked that question last time we talked about this. Yeah, I know. Why is everybody going to Amazon to buy their murder stuff? Like, if it's never been used and it wasn't collected, I don't think it proves anything. I think it's just an incinerator, and yet Amazon still won't take my payment out directly after buying something. Look at that. He's like, some stuff they'll sell and sometimes they don't. Intent. You said that it proves intent. Purchase with the gift. I saw that. Yeah, we're gonna get there too, Sarah. Because he does say, I think I stopped it right when he said purchase of a gift card. That still doesn't mean anything. I don't know. I'm on the fence on this one. I'm just saying, because it's kind of like I get where we're going with this, but it's still not like, if it was of evidentiary value, they would have collected it. We don't know what they've collected, right? So I don't think it necessarily proves anything yet. I don't know, but let me hit play.
If I can draw a nexus between the time of her death and the time that burn cage was purchased, I got something. What about it, Fisher?
Yeah, so we don't have the exact date, but it just so happened that on January 19th, the owner had an inspection done of the house. Was very thorough with photographs. At that time, we know that the burn cage was not at the house on January 19th. And so sometime between the 19th and, when the search warrant happened in September is when this arrived. And, it's also around the time that the new Tesla arrived on February 1st. So there seemed to be a lot happening at the end of January, beginning of February.
Okay. So Steve Fisher just dropped some new information right here. He says January 19th is that the homeowner had an inspection, right? I'm writing this down on my legal pad. Home inspection, okay? And he noticed it. So the homeowner noticed that there was an incinerator there. Did I hear that correctly? And then they notice. So there was a home inspection and notice an incinerator. So here's the question that I have. If you know you're not supposed to have incinerators in California, at least in homes, why as a homeowner, I think I'd be concerned, right? Like if I'm doing a home inspection, right? And I notice that there's a incinerator in my property. He said it was not there. Okay, did I miss that? I have many questions. That's why I'm trying to go back a little bit. Hold up. Because he said that hold up. Let me not miss it. Sometimes I miss stuff.
I got something. What about it, Fisher?
Yeah, so we don't have the exact date, but it just so happened that on January 19th, the owner had an inspection done of the house.
Okay.
Was very thorough with photographs. At that time, we know that the burn cage was not at the house.
Okay, perfect. I misheard him. So that burn cage was not there on the 19th. He had a home inspection. Okay.
January 19th. And so sometime between the 19th and, when the search warrant happened in September is when this arrived. And, it's also around the time that the new Tesla arrived on February 1st. So there seemed to be a lot happening at the end of January, beginning of February. But as of January 19th, it was not there. But after, as of September, it was there. So.
And the new car, it was like a red Tesla, right? The new car, right? That was not registered in D4VD's name. Wasn't it Josh Powell who had that new Tesla registered? Hey, Shoot for the Stars. How are you, my love? If it was for a video, why not use your name and credit card? You would want to write that off as a business purpose. Is a great question. Yes. So the Tesla, which was a red Tesla, that was the new Tesla that arrived around that time for Marshall, right? No, he wasn't there. So, I mean, I think he's kind of going by what he has found or knows. The red Tesla is Josh's name. He said so himself. That's right. Okay. Let's keep going.
It appears it was ordered between those dates.
Okay. Joining me, as I said, an all-star panel. Joe Scott, you've got a question for Fisher?
Hey, Steve.
Hold on. Joe Scott, I got to warn you about one thing, Joe Scott.
Yeah.
Isn't it true, Steve Fisher, that you were called in front of the grand jury? Can you confirm that?
I can't say anything about a grand jury.
I asked that same question. That's what he said to me. I said, oh, that told me everything I needed to know. That told me everything I needed to know. Let's keep going.
Okay. Well, if you had not been called, you would have said no. So
Yeah.
I'm going to take that as a yes. I've got a funny feeling that the prosecutor is going to be extremely irritated with you because you found evidence that the LAPD had not found yet. And I'm referring specifically to the Tesla with the dead body in the trunk of a little girl, Celeste Rivas. You found that and you scoured the neighborhood and got the Ring doorbell cam and the surveillance cam and could show that the car was being moved around the neighborhood so nobody would complain. It's parked out in front of their house. You even caught one of the driver's face. You still haven't revealed to me who that is. And LAPD or the DA's office didn't find any of that. So I guess she's a little ill with you right now.
Oh.
That said, I have a source telling me you were called in front of the grand jury, whether you confirm it or deny it.
Oh my God. It's a Tesla. Wait, did I see? I'd be saying things wrong. I could say Tesla, said, oh, you can't say anything about the grand jury. I don't think he can. I don't think but he's a witness. So I don't think he's held by the same standard as the jury member.
Okay, Joe
He
Scott.
could. I
The
don't know.
point being, he may not be able to answer some of our questions, but have at it.
I'll try to make it as general as possible. Hey, Steve, Joseph Scott Morgan. I got a question for you. I've been through this area before, only as a tourist. I could never afford, to even know anyone there. High dollar area. If you rent a place up there, it would seem odd that it would be incumbent upon that person to do their own landscaping work. And I'm fascinated about this chainsaw and this idea that I'm sure the shrubs are lovely. Are and you've got this, from what I'm understanding, an unopened chainsaw there. What would be the purpose of someone having this thing, and when did it show up?
That would be the question.
Well, so you nailed it exactly. So because I've heard some people say that, well, people have chainsaws that do yard work and trim trees. This was a rental that the owner was completely in charge of all the maintenance, including the pool, the tree trimming, everything. That this was plug and play. They didn't have to do any of their own yard work. So there's no reason for it to be there. And it showed up again after January 19th. It was not there because there was photo documentation of that walkthrough. And then,
what would be the reason to have a chainsaw in the property? Because they are doing the owner does the maintenance, right? So there's that. Thoughts?
Annual inspection. So it showed up after, between, the time of the search, January 19th and the time of the search warrant. But you're absolutely right. They're not responsible for any of that maintenance, and can't think of any reason that they would need a chainsaw there.
Joining us now, Melissa McCarty, investigative journalist and author of The Making of a Crime Reporter. Melissa, thank you for being with us. You have a question for Fisher? Go ahead.
I do. Hey, Steve, two questions for you. One is, who were the two items addressed to? Was it the owner of the house or somebody else? And also, it's my understanding the LAPD, they did not take those items as evidence, but do you know if there was any kind of brushing of fingerprints to see if David or somebody else in his inner circle at one point laid their hands on those boxes or collected those boxes, touched them to link the two?
That's a good question.
Very good question. So they did not take the items. We contacted them and asked them specifically about it, and they told us that they photographed them, but they did not fingerprint them. And, there was no dust or anything.
So they did take pictures of them. They didn't fingerprint them. But those items weren't used, right? So would they need to have been fingerprinted if they've never been used? That's the question that I have. So the only way you're getting me to believe these things were work related is that if you keep the receipts for reimbursement, gotcha, or something, right? And then you use a name, unless it was going to be something else. You said it's all sus and only reinforces my belief that D4VD is responsible. Oof. My goodness. Hey, the most hated troll. How are you, my love? Shout out to the most hated troll in the chat. Say, why is Nancy acting like a baseball coach, calling him by his last name like that? Because she would do it. Lady Pamela, that's what she does. She can get away with it, I guess.
On them, and they didn't appear to luminol them either because they hadn't been removed from the packaging. So, as far as who they were addressed to, they were addressed in a fake name, somebody that did not live at the residence, but they accepted the packages at the residence, and we believe just from...
Well, if they're still in the packages, they wouldn't need to have been fingerprinted, right? That's a good point. That's what I'm trying to understand, because if they weren't used, would they need to have been fingerprinted? Now, maybe who handled the box? I don't know. Maybe to that effect, but why would you need to fingerprint them if they've never really been open? Also irrelevant. The items were not seized. They're not going to be evidence. There is zero probative value in an unused chainsaw. And I know, people are saying, and I don't know, I'm not D4VD. Please note that. For all I know, he could have intended to use it. Maybe he just got too sloppy, if you know what I'm saying. And then they just left the body in the car and left it to the elements while he was going on tour. I mean, it's a really weird situation to kind of, I don't know, to even plan up for that, if that makes sense. Okay, let me keep playing.
The investigation we've been able to do, they used prepaid gift cards to purchase the items.
Wait.
Hold up. I'm going to say the same thing. This is where I heard prepaid gift cards to purchase the stuff.
In a fake name, somebody that did not live at the residence, but they accepted the packages at the residence, and we believe just from the investigation we've been able to do that they used prepaid gift cards to purchase the items.
Wait. You're giving me all new information. Wait a minute. Are you telling me? Have you told anybody else this? Are you telling me the home incinerator was addressed to a fake name, but somebody in that house accepted the package?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Correct.
How do you know that? Did you see the name?
Yes.
What was the name? How do you know it was fake?
Well, when I say fake name, it's
okay. So somebody accepted the package based on a fake. I mean, it's on the address. I don't know, man. Gift cards would be hiding a trail. That could be a thing. Hold up, thank you. Let's see. Gift cards. This is a planned crime. Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing is like, if they were doing a music video, you use the chainsaw. Like somebody said in the chat, why would you order that stuff on a fake name? You could totally write that ish off, right? You said, Rabbit, not true. It's hypothetical. An unused chainsaw would be relevant. Okay, look at Andrew's also in a shout out to Andrew. Andrew's a lawyer in the chat, by the way. He said, Rabbit, not true. In a hypothetical, an unused chainsaw would be relevant if defendant was alleged to wanting to use a chainsaw to kill someone. Evidence of intent to commit a crime. So if they knew that he was going to use this to get rid of her body or something like that. Thank you, Andrew. Shout out, because I was like, I'm trying to understand if it's unopened. But see, if somebody makes a statement and says, I ordered a chainsaw, or I'm going to order a chainsaw and case somebody, there's your evidence of intent to commit a crime. And also the gift card situation would be another factor, right? I'm going to case somebody. I order a chainsaw, fake name, use gift cards. Nothing traces back to me. I mean, it's to the address, but it's a fake name. Maybe it belonged to a neighbor and it got delivered here. See, thank you for this. Shout out to Andrew as well. Okay, let me hit play.
It's somebody that does not live at the residence. It's the name of a female that does not live at the residence. Yeah, they accepted, they signed for the package through DHO.
Oh, I'm learning so much right now. Okay, so this guy did not go run down to Home Depot and buy a home incinerator. That means somebody went online, Steve Fisher, and ordered it. Would you agree?
Absolutely, and I'm sure those records are very subpoenable.
Okay, you know, Danny Rubin joining me.
I mean, that's a great question. Who's tell somebody that they're going to kill him? Here's the deal, though. I do wonder, right? And I know it's even though that we're saying this, Andrew, it's still a lot of speculation, because the way I see it is that if that is the case, the way I see it is that why didn't they collect this right away? You said that so this could be thrown out based on hearsay. If I'm D4VD's attorney, that would be like hearsay, speculation. And your planning intent, it didn't actually happen that way. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud, guys. But let me hit play.
Right now, veteran criminal defense attorney, founder of the Rubin Law Firm. Danny, thank you for being with us tonight. I was ill. I was getting a chest pain that was radiating up into my teeth when I was hearing Steve Fisher talking about, nope, they did not seize the home incinerator. They did not seize the chainsaw. They did not fingerprint them. They did not luminol them. I mean, that's bad police work right there, that they just took pictures of them. Because, juries, they want to look at it. They want to touch it, hold it, feel it, smell it, the whole shebang. But then I would say, it was sent to a fake name to somebody that doesn't live there, to this address, and it was accepted by someone in that home, which tells me there is a digital trail, Danny Rubin. It proves a lot.
Well, again, speculation. And like Andrew said, of course, the chainsaw may not be relevant in this case. I would say hypothetical. It could very well be a hypothetical thing. I mean, even Google searches could be, if he was Google searching, I guess, evidence of intent to commit a crime. But all of this is just a hypothetical situation. We don't know. The way I still stand on what I said is that, I don't think that they saw this as evidence. Otherwise, this would have been collected. I do wonder what they're sitting on that would have led them to where they're at right now with the grand jury. You said, dependence on the statement, he may have wanted to use the chainsaw is not the same as he planned on using the chainsaw. Oh, there you go. What's proving the plan? The state has to show that. They have to show the burden of proof. That's right. Now, hold up. You said no one would use a chainsaw. If you could buy a sawzall or any of the other saws, the chainsaw is impractical and messy. Well, I don't think that we're dealing with people that maybe understand, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking, honestly. But, at the end of the day, there was a chainsaw at the house. There was an incinerator at the house. Apparently it was purchased with gift cards under another name. I mean, we could speculate a lot, but at the end of the day, that did happen according to Steve Fisher, based on what he's saying. So the burden of proof is on the state, and that must fall. Yeah, there you go. And they must believe that cannot be proved. There you go. So something happened to where the state said, we don't need that as evidence. We took pictures of it, but we don't need that as evidence. That's kind of where I'm going at. Now, I think what Nancy Grace does a good job at is taking us to a different rabbit hole. I'm here for it. I mean, I like to speculate, but as long as that's all it is, it's just speculation at this point. They'll find the true source of the gift cards. Well, you said the guy was addicted to gore. Chainsaw makes sense. Internet searches will tell you everything. Let's keep going.
I mean, what it can prove is the account that ordered it. It doesn't necessarily prove who ordered it. I mean, when I look at a case like this, I look at who's got the most to lose here. David had to know that if he is the one that would be culpable for this, he'd be the first one to be looked at. My question is, who's the second or who's the third? That's the person I'd want to investigate as his defense attorney. You would want to investigate them to what? So let's pretend for a moment that you're David Anthony Burke's lawyer. You want to look at everybody around him. So let's just be real here. So you can pull a SOD. Some other dude did it defense. So you're looking around at everybody else. Is that what you're saying? Just be straight. Well, my question is, what if someone else actually did do it? I mean, his two managers are around him all the time. They're the ones that are economically invested. Robert Morgenroth was actually, as far as I've read, called to testify at the grand jury, and he was recorded saying, "Why didn't I call the police?" Yes, the manager. Okay, so they tried and it worked in the Top Mom Casey Anthony murder case when she got her mother, Cindy Anthony, to go on the stand under oath and fall on her sword and take the blame for the highly damning searches for how to make chloroform. She said that she wrote chlorophyll, not chloroform, and that the computer spell checked her because she wanted to get rid of bamboo in the backyard. It made no sense at all. That said, it worked in that case, so I can't poo-poo it that quickly.
Oh my God. It's like the references to other cases. It drives me a little bit crazy. James just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, James. Thank you. Let me keep going.
Brian Fitzgibbons is joining us now. Director Operations, USPA Nationwide Security. Brian, you also, in your search for people all around the world, are an expert at digital forensics. Brian, what should they be doing right now to determine who ordered the burn cage?
Yeah, I want to applaud Steve Fisher, Nancy, and the work that he's done, and identifying that the purchase was made with these gift cards, that it was delivered to a fictitious name or a name that wasn't at the residence. This is going to provide investigators with a good foothold to begin that forensic search and subpoena these purchase records of what date this burn cage was purchased, on what IP address was the system access, they're going to be able to get quite a bit of information off of that purchase. And I think
pretty sure they probably, I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but I'm pretty sure that Steve probably has already provided all this to law enforcement. So maybe that's what they've already done and whatnot.
that you will see that provided that this moves forward to trial.
Yeah, you know what? You brought up another issue, Brian Fitzgibbons. Thank you. I was so taken by the fact that this was obviously ordered online. I wonder if they're going to be able to find where the purchaser watched that YouTube video Fisher just told us about, how the home fire cage can burn dead carcasses. Question to you, Steve Fisher, owner, founder of Steve Fisher SF Investigations. Steve, how do you know that it was bought with gift cards?
No, so I want to be clear. From what we've uncovered, it looks to us like it was purchased with gift cards from, the communications that we've had. I can't say that 100% for certain, but it appears that that's how it was done. But, we haven't
What
gotten
kind of gift cards? Please say Amazon. What kind of gift cards? American Express, Visa, Home Depot?
Yeah, it's one of those you go to Target and buy like a prepaid Visa or Amex or whatever, like that. Just something that doesn't have your name attached to it. Although you have to, I guess, technically register it, but you can use that in anybody's name. But I'll bet you that there is an email address that they formed this person's name, this fake name. So, and then that'll probably reside on one of those computers. And, I think they'll be able to tie it all back to them. I don't think these are geniuses by any means.
You said that you can't say gift cards were used 100%, but that you have personally you and your team have done investigations that lead you to believe that gift cards were used. You're telling me the gift cards were not to a specific store such as Home Depot or Lowe's. You're telling me they were of the variety that you can go to Target and get like American Express or Visa gift cards. Is that correct?
Ooh.
Yes, right. Yes.
Okay, which leads me to believe that they were bought at Target. Were they bought at Target?
Oh, I honestly have no idea about that. I'm just saying that, like they're a seller of those. I don't know where they bought the gift cards at, but they were delivered, through a, delivery, so like you order online and it appears that they use DHL to ship this, item.
To ship the gift cards or to ship the burn cage?
The burn cage. So I think it's gonna be fairly easy to track it back.
Okay. Karen Stark joining me, forensic psychologist, renowned TV radio trauma expert.
Well, did he find the gift cards that were... I'm trying to think. So he has these items at the property, right? You would call the people that sell them and ask them how this item was purchased. And they could probably tell you it was purchased with this and that, this card or this gift card or whatever. I'm thinking that's how he found out, not that he like broke into a computer to find out what exactly, I don't know. He says he believes it was, right? Not that. How would I find out if something was okay? Like I'm thinking, I've called to a store out of curiosity, like to know how something was purchased. Maybe I forgot which card I use, or maybe I don't know if I don't have the receipt, right? But I have the there's a barcode to the item or whatever. Then you call and you find out what that barcode is, and then you report the barcode. A shipping invoice could probably, I'm just thinking in my mind because he's not really giving too much, but he said he did not. He says he believes it was. So he believes it was gift cards. We don't know if that's a fact. I think it's an important distinction, right? Because if I buy a camera and I use my credit card that's connected to a bank or whatever, you'd be able to find out how I made that purchase. Say I lost the receipt and all I have is the model and make and barcode, right? There's ways to code items from what seller has it to the present item. So I'm thinking maybe that's how we went about it. I don't know. Different variables. I don't know. I don't know. So it's, I don't know. I think the gift cards is out there, but he says he doesn't, he took it back. He walked it back, if that makes sense. Okay. Hold up. Basin. I was going to say Jason. Pretty sure that's what it, anyways, shout out to Basin. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super sticker, love. Shout out to you. You guys are amazing. And again, guys, make sure you guys put some hearts in the chat if you've been gifted by James. Thank you, James, for gifting memberships again. Thank you. I didn't want to miss it. The cash would make sense. We'll see now. There's ways to leave a footprint. Back in, many years ago, I used to work loss prevention many years ago. And And what we would do is that, because you don't have the people, and I mean, it's happened to a lot of us, you lose a receipt or whatever, you might have like a warranty to something or something like that. If I lose something, say I have a stapler here, I have a stapler and there's a barcode to it, there's a way to, kind of be able to tag that to the store or whatever. Sometimes but with the store, and then they could tell you how you purchased it and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You said a UPC numbers can't track transactions. That's so true. It only tracks the shipping. So that's a good point. Okay, let's keep going.
Consultant at KarenStark.com. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Can't you just see? There's going to be video, right? They have cameras everywhere, specifically on the registers. Can't you just see this merry troop slinking into a store and getting all these gift cards? Which is, they think, so sneaky because it's not in their name. I wonder if they paid in cash. Or did they charge it? Oh, I hope they charged it. Trying so hard to cover up, yet leaving a trail a mile wide for somebody like Steve Fisher to find.
It's very clear that these people were disorganized, Nancy. I mean, nobody really understood that. How could you leave even the body in a car and keep moving the car around and not think that somebody would notice?
I think that's the most basic thing. This is the thought process behind that. It's just crazy work. You said, my husband is cheating on me, and I believe he used this card to buy a mistress a bonfire cage and is cutting wood for her. Think it doesn't work? I found my ex served him an CS Finger Hut. Thanks. Is Finger Hut still around? Hey, Pinche Becky. Shout out to Pinche Becky in the chat. She got the news yesterday on the Nick Reiner case out there. Shout out to her. Is Finger Hut still the thing? Shout out to you. Anyways, let's keep going.
Especially where they were. And if you consider the fact that she was dismembered, and then you also look at the fact that someone ordered a chainsaw, somebody ordered this burn incinerator, it's very telling that there was intent, or at least it seems that way, that they turned this body, it was dehumanized. And they were looking for any way, according to me, it seems, to get rid of the body without even thinking about this as a person.
Back to Steve Fisher, following up on what Karen Stark, psychologist, said. Steve Fisher, isn't it true that D4VD, aka David Allen Burke, was going on tour? So if Celeste was already dead, they wait and they wait and they wait, and the home incinerator doesn't show up. They're like, hell, let's put her in the trunk. That's going to be the argument. Of course, they're all presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
So finally, you know what? Back up and punt. And she ends up in the trunk. Can't you just see that playing out, Fisher? Then the incinerator comes a day late, $1 short. Should have used FedEx. But no, they used DHL. What about it, Fisher?
Yeah, personally, I think the incinerator was already there. I think this became a case of them chickening out. They or whoever was supposed to do it didn't do it, and then they just ran out of time. I mean, this is what baffles me about the whole case. We're talking about people that are, quite frankly, idiots, and now how is it taking this many months to be able to put this case together to become chargeable? Because these are not people that pulled off a perfect crime, and this is the part that really baffles me. Is it's so sloppy, yet there's apparently not enough to charge them yet. I don't understand.
Well, is there or isn't there? I'm like, they're so sloppy. We can agree with that. I mean, okay.
Steve Fisher claims he found a burn cage incinerator and a chainsaw inside the home rented for Burke by his manager.
Okay, they're repeating the information here. I'm going to try to scoot up here. There we go.
Sources now say the grand jury hearing witness. Okay,
we know this information, and now this is repeat. Let's go to this lawyer here.
They've got to go with, if it's homicide, murder 1, murder 2, voluntary or involuntary. And then, of course, there's felony murder. They've got to pick between those charges. They could indict in the alternative, which means a murder 1 with a murder 2 and a voluntary or even involuntary, all in the same indictment, so a jury can pick. So if they're going to go with murder 1, go with me, Ruben, go with me. That means they either got the COD from the body, which was decomposed, and they know there was either a gunshot wound, a broken hyoid bone to suggest asphyxiation, something in toxicology, a knife nick to one of the bones. They've either got it from the body itself, or they've got a witness to say she was murdered and this is what happened. So they got to indict on those few choices: murder one, murder two, voluntary, involuntary. That's all the choices there are for homicide. To do murder one or murder two, they had to find something from the body or a witness. What do you think?
I think if they had something from the body, they would have been bringing charges a lot sooner. It seems like if they're looking into indicting for homicide, whichever one they pick, they probably got some information from a witness that they questioned over the past month or two. I know they're going to be calling back witnesses in February. That's what I read. So it seems like
they're calling back witnesses in February. Now, what happened to you guys? Remember when TMC said something to the effect of like there was a female that was uncooperative? Did she eventually cooperate? Because is she not in jail? Like, I just want to know.
Still trying to find more evidence.
Curious.
But if they're looking to switch that investigation now, it's probably because of something someone said, possibly in conjunction with something they found on the body.
Dave Mack, speaking of witnesses before the grand jury, isn't it true that witnesses, at least one, has refused to come to the grand jury? Isn't that true?
Absolutely true, Nancy. And they've gone so far as to threaten to arrest her if she won't come in.
Danny Rubin, I'm just wondering, let's just put together the pieces here, Rubin. A witness stated that she refused to come to the grand jury. An order went out to either bring her in, have her arrested, give her immunity if she was facing charges herself. Therefore, she would have no reason to take the Fifth Amendment from the grand jury, or charge her with contempt. If you're a target, you can be given immunity and forced to testify because you have no Fifth Amendment right to remain silent if you're not going to be charged. Or if you're just a witness, you can be held in contempt and jailed until you testify. Okay, so that word goes out, and the next thing you know, an indictment is being handed down. Sounds to me like they got the witness testified, and now we're looking at a homicide indictment.
That is a mouth load. You said, what if the female not cooperating is the female whose name that stuff was ordered in? Anything is possible, Divine. Anything is possible. If it was, she could have testified that it was a gift card. Man, who knows, man? Anything is possible. What if the female's not cool? Okay, I think I read that one. Sorry. You said, let's do it. Call back inconsistencies. You think that there's some inconsistencies since that's why they're calling the witnesses back in February based on what people are saying. So we probably won't even hear about a charge until February to March, maybe. That's the question that we have here. Now, let me see. You would think that a little digital evidence, they have the Tesla, there's at least enough to bring some people in for hard questioning. Has that been done? I don't know. I would think so. I mean, listen, I assume that they're pretty far ahead at this point. You're talking about the grand jury part, and they're probably going to bring more people in and question more people, and they're still investigating and whatnot, but everything is in the hush hush. Thank you, Midnight. Thank you. You said, but we want him arrested on February 14th. February 14th. Whew. Yeah, they did. Wishful thinking. I thought maybe we'd hear something by the end of the year, but that didn't happen.
That could be it. I mean, like I said before, it could be something in conjunction with what they found in the body. It could be some combination of testimonies. But this is why we have subpoena powers, because both the prosecution and defense, prosecution and grand jury, defense at trial and preliminary hearing, we need that to bring in witnesses who can testify. And many times we can't get what we need without those witnesses. So it's a very big stick that we have to bring witnesses in that we need.
Danny Rubin, you have a question for Steve Fisher?
Yeah, Steve, when you investigated the home where David was purportedly living, was there anything else of note that you found? Anything still in its wrapper? Anything that was looked like it had not been taken out of its packaging?
No, besides those two items, there was a couple full respirators, almost like gas masks at the house, but they were out of the package. Don't know exactly what they were for, but those were the two, most damning things for sure. There was a lot of stuff left behind.
Respirators, incinerator, and chainsaw. Okay.
That was of value, such as the memory card with all the photos, but nothing that really was like, what would that be doing here?
Joe Scott Morgan joining me, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, star of Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, we're learning a lot tonight. Okay, we knew that there was a chainsaw. We knew that there was a home incinerator. We didn't know that it had been purchased with gift cards anonymously and that it had been sent under a fake name.
Wait, but he walked that back, though, didn't he? Didn't Steve walk that back? He said that he wasn't sure. Hold up. Well, I'm not going to go back, but she's asking the question here.
Now we know that purchase can be traced and we can find out, hopefully, if there's video, who bought the gift cards and where and when. What does this mean to you forensically? What can we prove with this new evidence?
Well, I think certainly with the gift cards in particular, because that is something that can be digitally traced. And just let me remind everybody, these gift cards can be picked up anywhere. It doesn't have to be at a big store. You can walk into a gas station and buy these things. So, but the upside with
but
this
it can be traced, Joe Scott, the location of where the gift card, they got numbers on them like guns, for Pete's sake. You can find where a gift card was purchased.
Yeah, and the digital evidence here gets very granular. And so it's going to be very specific. You can put a really tight pin in this thing. Also, the initial purchase, the utility of these things, and then you track along with the purchases that are made. Now, I'm going to use a term here, and I'm sure you'll slap me down for saying this. I got to tell you, Nancy, from a legal standpoint, the things I've heard attorneys say in the past with these boxes of unopened items, when you think about the chainsaw and this burn box and these sorts of things, this almost smacks of like an inchoate offense. I don't know. I think I'd like to know your opinion of that, but there's planning going on, perhaps, if they can prove that. And maybe there is intent, but they just couldn't complete the act here. Going back to what Steve had said earlier, this seems like old reference here, the apple dumpling gang. They just can't get anything right. They're just kind of falling on their faces. No one can pull the trigger. There's not a leader. It's just like they push this thing off in the ether, and maybe she'll just disappear. I don't know. Because I got to tell you, out of all the cases I've covered, I've never seen anything, first off, take this long. You've got a lot of elements here of movement.
Wait. Did he say incoherent defense? So I looked it up. A legal strategy that is confusing, contradictory, or illogical, failing to present a clear, consistent narrative, often by making conflicting claims, an alibi, self-defense, or relying on a nonsensical argument, which significantly weakens the defense's credibility and case in court, making it hard for the judge or jury to believe. So there's such thing as an incoherent defense. Never heard of an incoherent defense. Wow. That would be a first. Let me know. You said being a qualified juror, they're using a lot of words I wouldn't want them to hear. Oof. You said, Jesus, I'm so sick of everything. So is the lady in the corner of the frame, Nancy? That's Rabbit Grace. Yes, it is. I'm gonna need you to go drink some juice. You're doing too much. Okay, let's not be offensive in the chat. Thank you, because you're doing too much. I know we feel passionate about this case, but you don't get to insult people. Thank you. I think some of these people that D4VD surrounded himself with being grilled by investigators, something gonna happen soon. Yes, I agree. You said, and even if the FBI isn't involved in the case, it cuts all ties. I don't know if the FBI is involved. Rabbit Grace, yes. Okay. Let's keep going. But I wanted to read that incoherent defense because I guess that's a strategy that the defense can use.
The body, going to Karen's point of disrespecting the remains to this point, and then you have all these other elements where no one could finish the job.
Okay, you refer to incoherent
Did he say a different word?
from the Latin verb incohere, which means in its inception, in its beginning.
He said incohere, right? So incohere in Latin, let me pull it up real quick just so I understand. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a Latin word, but it's a legal Latin word. Hold up, I'm gonna put it in the chat for y'all. So it's the same thing. It's just basically a reduction to absurdity is a method used to disprove an argument by showing that it leads to an inherently incoherent or absurd consequences. Okay, that this occurred when a statement's application to itself makes it clear incoherent. I don't speak the English word. Burden of proof. In legal disputes, the burden of proof is used to challenge incoherent defenses by requesting or requiring the party making the claim to prove incoherent warrants for their position. So yeah, I think it's the same word. This is how it's spelled. Oh, this is the Latin version of it. Thank you. You said means that the thing hasn't fully materialized. He's basically saying what you're thinking. The crime hasn't fully unfolded. So it's like still That's crazy. Like, and that's what he feels like the defense is going to be. And it's illogical, but it hasn't really unfolded. It's a Latin term of it. Okay. Sorry. I feel this is a good time for us to learn some of this. Okay. Because as we're covering this case, and if we cover a trial, these are some of the things that we're going to have to know.
Just starting. So I see this. If any of this is borne out by the facts, and again, David Burt is presumed innocent until proven guilty. The beginning of the destruction of the body went because the burn cage and the chainsaw, and we do know she was dismembered. Where you come in, they obviously did not use a chainsaw. Hey, Steve Fisher, was the chainsaw also still in the package?
It had the protective shield over the blade. It wasn't in an actual package, but it had the protective shield over it.
Okay, so it had never been used, which suggests that it's new. And we keep talking about, hey, do you do your own landscaping? Maybe, obviously, he didn't do his own landscaping, but if he had a landscaper that was going to use that, I mean, that could be a defense, but it was never used, which suggests it also was just bought and will probably be traceable. That said, incoherent. I see it as evidence of destruction of the body, tampering with a corpse, which is also a felony, which is a separate offense from the homicide itself.
Yep.
I think we're going to see a very involved and intricate indictment, which deals with the actual death of Celeste and disposing of her body. And you're right, Joe Scott, the attempt to get rid of her body was incoherent. It had just started and it's leaving a trail. The cover-up will likely be indicia, proof of the crime itself. Wouldn't you agree with that? Maybe they just got tired of waiting to get all of the items, the burn cage, the chainsaw, and went, just put her in the trunk, man.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the case here. There's also one more issue to this, and this is rather gruesome. It's not that the rest of this hasn't been. It's just that who's going to draw the short straw here? Who's going to put this cage together, which, by the way, is very easy to assemble. Who's going to put the thing together? And
oh my gosh. But it's like 55 pounds, right? Is it 55 pounds because it's nothing but metal, correct? That would have been hard to move too. And maybe the movers thought that it didn't belong to anybody. I don't know. That's my thought on that. 55 pounds.
And who's going to finish up the process of rendering down her body to the point where it's manageable to go in here? And also they think, oh my Lord, this is going to create a smell that no one is going to be able to escape.
Smell.
Hi guys, Nancy Grace.
Okay, hold up now. Let me scoot over. Y'all check out Nancy Grace and the ad that she is playing. Hold up. Now, apparently Garagos also spoke too, but we're going to get into this. They played a clip here.
Timeline that's almost by the minutes.
Hold up. Here we go.
Second person has been linked to the death of Celeste Rivas. Attorney Mark Garagos claims the suspect's phone and social media data was triangulated by LAPD homicide detectives to the spot on the same time frame Rivas died.
They've got a chart at LAPD that you would not believe. They've got this thing down to a timeline that's almost by the minutes, triangulated to the location. If you can
Did we
believe
watch
that.
this?
And it's not just one source. When I say triangulated, it's media, social media, cell phone, Tesla, other, and all I'll say is other kind of GPS tracking devices.
You're seeing Harvey Levin's Two Angry Men podcast with Mark Garagos, veteran defense attorney. I mean, Melissa McCarty joining us, investigative journalist. All of the people that lived in that home or were in and out frequently can be identified. Fisher has video of the person moving the Tesla around the neighborhood. He knows who that is. He saw the face. He's not saying. So don't you know that what Garagos and Levin said is true?
I think a lot of us have speculated who that is. In my opinion, I think we know who, it wouldn't surprise me to know that it was Neo who moved the car.
They've got it down to a timeline by the minute. You think any one of those D4VD cohorts is going to go anywhere without their phone or their Apple Watch or their nav system in their car? Oh, no. They travel as a pack, and they're all traveling together, Melissa.
Yep. Nancy, I think we're going to see more than one person charged in this case. And that's what's so great about the grand jury phase. To me, this comes across as a case where a lot of people aren't forthcoming. They don't want to talk. So you need subpoenas to force them to get on the stand so prosecutors can lock in their theories, lock in their timelines, take all of the digital forensic that they've been gathering since September and really piece together what they believe to be true. So I think more than one person will be charged at the end of this grand jury.
What about it, Steve Fisher? Why won't you tell me who was driving that car? I said in a previous evening that I was misled. It was not misled by you. You're correct.
He's not going to say. We still back. I swear this was like the first interview. I was like, oh my God. Coco's mom just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Coco's mom. Y'all put some hearts in the chat for Coco's mom, who is a gifter. Thank you, love. Let's keep going.
The car was moved this date and that date to this location, that location. I was misled by our own analysis that she was killed she died just before the car started moving. She could have been dead much before that she was placed in the car, before the car was moving. Now, back to my query. Why aren't you telling people who was moving the vehicle? I guess you testified to that in front of the grand jury.
I'm not even sure what a grand jury is, but the reason that I did it is because I don't want people, if I did say that, I don't want people to think that she was just killed like that. I believe that her death could go back as far as January. And, this person I'm certain will be held accountable, but I also don't want somebody to take it into their own hands, because this is moving super slow and it's frustrating. And I just think it's a safer, way to go.
You know why, Steve Fisher? Because I think Melissa McCarty is right. I think a lot of people are going to be charged, including possibly named as unindicted co-conspirators in order to...
Oh, yes, exactly. So we don't, why give out that information?
To get their testimony, give them immunity to get them to testify. This, as money woes rear their ugly head.
EA Sports, the biggest name in sports video games, quietly removes Burke's song, What Are You Waiting For? From...
Okay, the guy with the voices drives me crazy. Thank you so much, Sarah Adams, for gifting a membership. Thank you, love it. Oh my God, Survive the Kool-Aid and Made It Rain as well. Thank you guys for gifting memberships. Y'all are amazing. Thank you. Okay, we have some gifters in the chat. If you guys have received a gift, put some hearts in the chat, guys. We have amazing supporters in the Fluffle community. I really appreciate it. Let me see if I can move this a little bit. We already know he lost his spot in the music stuff.
Joining me, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Is that why we are hearing about boo-hoo money woes?
I think it's just the tip of the iceberg, Nancy. Remember, when all of this started, he was on his first worldwide tour. He was only 2 or 3 days into it when everything broke and it stopped. This was the end of the career. No money's been coming in since then, or at least it's not nearly what it was. So, yeah, money woes, absolutely.
So every time somebody played Madden NFL 26, it's a legendary football game, they would hear David Burke's song, What Are You Waiting For? It played every time somebody played the game. Is that right, Dave Mack?
Huh.
Well, they created a playlist of songs, Nancy. So, yes, it was one of several, kind of like on an album. You have several different artists on there.
Is that a yes? Could you just give me a yes, no, please?
Yes.
Okay, so yes. So every time that song is played, D4VD makes, let's just pretend.
I'm not asking for your life story. I want you to answer the question. Is that a yes? Is that a yes? That's it. I don't want your life story. No. Just a yes and a no. Okay.
$1, a penny. That's a lot of money because that is a huge, huge game in sports video games. He's lost all that money. That's the tip of the iceberg. But I think he's got bigger fish to fry than losing money off Madden NFL 26. If you know or think you know anything about this case, no matter if you think it's insignificant, doesn't matter, please call Homicide 213-486-6890. Repeat, 213-486-6890. And Steve Fisher, if you have to go back in front of the grand jury, which you are neither denying or confirming, I will make a cameo appearance as a defense attorney and come represent you because I want to be in that grand jury.
Oh,
okay, Fisher? For free, pro bono. And tonight, we remember an American hero, Corporal Matthew Snook.
Wait.
Delaware
Hold up. Let me play this.
Police shot in the line of duty, leaving behind wife turned widow and a daughter without her dad. American hero, Corporal Matthew Snook. Thank you to our guests, but especially you for being with us tonight and every night. Nancy Grace signing off.
All right. That was a lot. So a couple things we found out new based on the notebook. Okay. Mask, respirator mask. Hold up. Let me see. I wrote this down. Gas mask, respirator mask. There was a home inspection on January 19th. Owner didn't notice anything. We noticed that. And then the new Tesla. Okay. sometime like in the 1st of February, and that's about it. Now, you guys in the chat are telling me that there is also a Law and Crime. Did Steve go on Law and Crime too? Lord have mercy, I can't keep up. Did Steve go on Law and Crime too? Let me see. Hold up. I don't think we're going to react to that just for the sake of time because I got to go and do some stuff, guys. I might do a pre-recorded reaction to this. He did. Okay, but I also heard that Garagos spoke on this. So did Garagos speak on this too recently? I might have to. So we have Law and Crime and Garagos. So I'm going to do a pre-recorded video. But guys, I've been working on some stuff that I got to handle. The gas mask is for weed? Gotcha. Had no idea. You recommend Law and Crime? All right, we going to watch Law and Crime. You said Law and Crime was the best one? Okay. Yeah, we'll do it. Do we do it live or do I do it pre-recorded? I guess I'll have to see for the sake of time because I got to handle some stuff. Law and Crime tonight. Okay. I'll check it out, guys. First of all, shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are amazing. Thank you for gifting. Oh my goodness. And thank you guys for the support. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to see you guys on the next one because I do have to head out. I got to go handle some business. But y'all, let me know what you guys think in the comments. So we'll be doing Law and Crime next, okay? Bye, guys. Bye. Thank you, guys.